My world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am what I am.
Said to him that, you know what, this is me, I'm gay. But knowing now, I've actually known that I've been into bears ever since I was like 12 years old. My type has always been like that. I haven't had any difficulties. My friends have always been there for me, and if you're gonna call any difficult, if you're gonna make me explain anything, like I just what was I going to say? Yeah. So I've had very little difficulties coming out for the bear side anyway.
And well, you fortunately are of such a size that it's highly unlikely people are going to be making any of those derogatory remarks that they might be on. You know, some of the younger, more effete sort of gay men. Did you ever have any of that experience at all?
No, the majority of the times that I do come out is I always, if I come to a straight person or any other kind of person and I say, hey, yeah, I'm gay actually. The majority of the response is, oh, you don't look gay, or like I wouldn't have copped it. Like, but I always just come out. It's like, oh, that's your own. You can choose to.
Yeah. And what about mates?
My friends.
Did you lose any along the way?
No, my friends are still there. Very strongly there for me as well. I've got my friends and the circle of friends that I have right now. I've actually broadened. It's gone much bigger. I'm always there for my friends as well. So, whenever I need them, they're always going to be there.
No, it's interesting because I had a woman in here last week. You know, who's a mature woman, and I asked her the same question, and she said the first person she ever came out to was her closest friend, and they haven't spoken since. So I mean, it's that's the bad old days, as we say. Aggie, what's your experience? I mean, you're a DJ. I mean, how did you come to that?
Well, I used to go to the George in the early 90s when there was a tranny night on a Wednesday and a Thursday. Just before the trannies. But the music that they would be playing in there at the time would have been very European music. British club scene and European, and Madonna mixed in. And I've always liked that type of music anyway. But to find a radio station that was playing it was difficult. And I found a French one, and it's called Hot Mix Radio, and that's right up my alley. And I get a lot of inspiration from when I'm DJing from that radio station. Because it brings you right back to those days of the early 90s. And of course, as you were talking to Owen there about his experiences of when he was 22 and 23, and any bad experiences when he was coming to terms with who he was. But one of mine was the cops coming into George and trying to take me out because I was sitting very close to some guy, because it was illegal back then to even do anything. I mean, all I was doing
was it that bad?
It was really unbelievably bad. Yeah. It's come a long way though. Things have changed, but the fight still goes on.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I wasn't here in the early 90s, but I was here in the 70s, and I was here in the 70s, and I can remember. You were probably better off being a terrorist than you were being gay, because I mean you were likely to get less attention and perhaps a bit more protection.
Like flamboyancy, like Owen was saying, like people say you don't look gay. Like I used to shop in the short shop. There was a shop in Grafton, you got a short shop, and I used to pick the most floweriest shorts that you could ever think of.
Why not? Why not?
Well, I still do, as it turns out. But back then, I never realised that I was actually standing out more than anybody else. They were like blooming big blooms.
You should see my wardrobe. We must, one day we perhaps could have a fundraiser, to see who's got the most outrageous shirts.
Well, speaking of wardrobes, you don't know what's going to fall out of Tom's closet.
Do tell! Not a bear suit. Back then, Aggie, there would have been no bears. There were, in fact, there wouldn't have been any gay people either. It was just all queers, wasn't it?
There was. We found this club years ago called. It was started up off Stephen's Green. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Shaft.
Yeah.
We used to go to one called Shaft, and every
appropriate name, I suppose.
Yeah. All the guys, like I'd say 90% of the guys, they all looked the same. They all had the big moustaches. The
Freddie Mercury was wasn't he just an inspiration?
Yeah. So they evolved into what we see as the Bears today, but back 25 years ago, they would have been clones of each other, technically. We were clones, weren't they? They were clones. The clones became the Bears.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this, particularly with Tom, and did the Bears, what we would call Bear World, did it split to a certain degree, and one part went to Beardom and the other part went to Geared Ireland? Because, you know, a lot of the guys that you would have talked to having the moustaches and the muscular physique, a lot of them I know now as what I call the leather gods.
Yeah,
were they prominent in those days?
And yeah, they would have been around. Yeah, they definitely were. Yeah.
It's a lot stronger nowadays, anyway.
It is. Yeah, they found an identity in Ireland. They didn't have a hangout place as such. The way now they all come under the one umbrella with Geared. But back then, you'd see them in the clubs. They'd go to Shaft, but they'd be mingling with everybody else.
Yeah.
I think though, if you go back into the history of it, like. I think the history of the whole bear movement really came from the bikers in San Francisco.
That's my understanding as well. Yeah.
I suppose when you say a split, it's probably like a deviation, if you like, or a kind of it's organic, like, you know.
LGBT.
I don't know if that's the right word exactly. It's, but you know, some people sort of feel probably more. They identify more with the leather scene. There's a massive crossover between the leather scene and the bear scene, though, and particularly in Dublin. You get a lot of guys who are, say, go to a Dublin Bears gig. You see them at the Geared Ireland gig, you know. So there's a lot of that. So.
Well, whenever I've spoken to the guys from Geared Ireland, they're always hugely supportive of the Bears. So
likewise,
you know, I often wonder, you know, is there things going on here that the general public don't know about? Well, whenever I've spoken to the guys from Geared Ireland, they're always hugely supportive of the Bears. So you know, I often wonder, you know, is there things going on here that the general public don't know about?
Just a lot of mutual friends and mutual support, and it's like even just this past weekend, a very good friend of ours, Cahill, plus Mike, who you've met here before, he's on our committee. They were over.
He does have one of those moustaches.
A handlebar run.
But they were over at IML, International Mr. Leather in Chicago, which is it's the biggest thing in the world for leather. And Cahill came in the top 20, so congratulations, Cahill. And you know, like Mike and Cahill plus a load of those guys, they go between the two.
Yeah.
And there's just a really nice rapport that way, you know. So.
Owen, you could easily fit into that world. Are you a man for the pierced nipples and the you know, and
you don't want to know about my piercings. No, I've actually got one piercing. It was actually the straight edge where I had the chandelier hanging out of my left ear. That's all I have left.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Have you ever been tempted to gravitate to that world, or do you, as we say, do you play for both teams?
No, I don't play for both teams anymore. But in terms of the fetish nights, the Geared nights, the bear nights and stuff like that, I'll be as open-minded as I can be, or as I think I could be. So being with, I would be going to the Geared Ireland stuff and even to the bear stuff as well. Like so, I venture into both sides. Sorry.
Since we've also had on this program, I've had a fairly good relationship with the guys from Nivnock. I mean, is that a completely separate world to bears and?
Nivnock is a bit broader because it's
more fetish.
It's more but I think it's open to men and women as well.
It is indeed.
And there's a lot of guys that we would know would go to all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, I know a couple of Ursulas who go to it.
Well, what my experience is that you know. Nivnock is tends and the type of events like Nivnock, the fetish nights, it tends to be about dressing up and flaunting. Whereas I get the impression that Bears and Geared Ireland, it's a bit more action than you know than just going around you know taking your tops off.
Well, it's I mean
on a good night.
Obviously, we run the bear nights and we go to the Geared nights, but they're extremely sociable nights. You know, they're very very sociable. And I was never really into the leather fetish scene until I went to Chaps and stuff before, which I enjoyed, and then Geared, and I just find it very relaxing, very social. I've bought quite a bit of leather gear now from the gear sales, and I really enjoy it. It's kind of a liberating feeling.
You want to see the leather handbag he has?
With the cosh in it.
What I found interesting was when you're leaving the venue in Parnell Street, which would be considered a rougher end of town. There's a rock venue there, Fibber McGee's. It's also a rock venue, and they're leaving at the same time as the guys in the leather.
So the metalheads are leaving.
And the metalheads and the leather guys are leaving, and there's not one bit of tension. It's like you might know somebody and they'll wave at you, and they may even share a taxi with you. So there's no aggression whatsoever with the rockers and the guys from the Bears.
Well, you probably find that given a suitable interval, that they go from one to the other. That was particularly when you talk
There's
about
a secret backdoor gate in there.
There is a back.
Well, might have death metal going on upstairs, and then.
But there's no aggression where you've often heard of people saying, "Oh, there was a row outside." There's absolutely nothing like that goes on. The two seem to be able to leave peacefully, and it's just everybody's had a good night, and there's no aggression.
But Tom, I want to come back to yourself, because earlier in the year we learned, the very tragic news of Jack Nealon's. What's the situation there? I mean, the last time I passed it was still open, but I mean, I wasn't. I haven't been down that part of town.
The last time I was speaking on this show, we had just gotten the news about Nealon's closing down. Apparently, the building was owned by NAMA, and a vulture fund in the States bought the property portfolio. So it was due to close on Easter Monday, and then we just got news on Easter Thursday. I think you rang me and told me that. Anyway, there was a bit of a turnaround. The management were supposed to come back, the staff were back, but I think what's happened now is it's now under new management. It's in receivership. And
Jack Nealon's itself.
Jack Nealon's.
Yeah.
But it's still a thriving business, and like we've been in there every weekend, and it's full. And I was actually, I think people were kind of anxious about how they might be towards LGBT, but that has been absolutely reaffirmed. I was in there Friday week, I think it was, and this wonderful drag queen called Destiny appeared behind the bar, plugged in her laptop, got some disco going. And she's there every Friday and Saturday now. She's actually doing a live show next weekend, Friday and Saturday upstairs. Free in.
It was always a great party venue, wasn't it?
It's a great pub, it's a great local pub.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a great pub, it's a great local pub.
Yeah, I mean,
nice mix of people.
I've been to, with Dublin Gay Men Chorus, I've been to several fundraisers up there, and we've had a ball every time. Yeah,
there's been a good few. There was Acting Out did fundraisers. We've done quite a few. Gear did a few. It's a great room upstairs.
And it's also the meeting house for the adult Lego group.
That's a bit weird for me.
The clubhouse.
When is this on?
It's the first Saturday of the month, I think. But they the building of Nealon's done. They have the actual building of Nealon's.
Yeah, because Nealon's is I would have said it was a heritage structure that there's,
the building's listed.
If you were a vulture fund, there's probably very, very little you could actually do. You'd be better off establishing it as a venue.
They literally bought a portfolio off the books, so they mightn't have even known what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But thankfully, it's going strong now. So.
Well, look, when I lived in Sydney, most people didn't realise it at the time, but it was thanks to the gangsters that the LGBT scene took off, because they took over heritage buildings, and they realised where there was money to be made. Hopefully not necessarily taken over by gangsters, but hopefully Nealon's will still be going for many a year.
So
Are you a fan of Nealon's yourself?
Yeah, it was actually one of the first nights that I went to was actually in Nealon's, which was the Bears upstairs. It was a good maybe 2 years ago, and I just met up with my friends and just went there. It was pretty good. It was a good spot, like.
Nice.
Look, it's as I say, it's you can drink if you want to, you can dance if you want to. It's I've always found it a venue that you come away from with
it's no friend of mine.
But. Getting back to the music, Aggie, are you very much what I would call the resident DJ within Bear World, or do you out into the rest of...
Spread my claws. I'll spread wherever I have to get a gig. Within reason, that is.
Just let me know so I can...
Yeah. I will DJ with the equipment called records and CDs. I don't use a laptop, so when I'm DJing, you see I am physically working. I'm not holding out a laptop, pressing buttons and doing a playlist. So I'll be doing a vinyl gig very shortly. It'll be Madonna and Kylie and Pet Shop Boys, and it's all stuff from Australia.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I got a lot of vinyl from Australia.
Okay, are you a fan of vinyl? I see you've got a vinyl T-shirt.
Well, I have actually, yeah.
I must admit,
That was a special present
I was
from somebody
very late
else.
coming to CDs because you couldn't get for a long time. You couldn't get a lot of the things that you'd want on CD. And then when I came to it, I've got stacks of vinyl elsewhere, but now I don't have a player anymore.
Well, I've inherited I've quite sizable amount of Pet Shop Boys and Kylie vinyl. I already had a lot of vinyl anyway, but a lot of the stuff came from Australia. They were sent over from Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
They were sent from Melbourne to Tony's sister.
I take it you're a fan of Neil and Kristen.
Yeah, well, big would have been, yeah.
You got to see them in Grand Canal in September.
We're actually flying out on holidays that day, so
I was going to go, but I looked $70 for a ticket, and you stuck up the top. So I've seen them half a dozen times. If I was in a decent place, I would certainly go to it. They would be they'd be almost like grandfathers to you.
Yeah, probably not.
No, you had to be around when Go
well,
West
Owen's a
came
DJ
out.
as well, you know.
What?
Owen's
Are you a DJ as well? Do tell.
Hopefully soon enough I'll get back into it as soon as possible, because about 2 years ago it was my last headline. I didn't do too many. I was just practicing at the time, but I was able to get, which was next door to Twisted Pepper on Abbey Street.
Okay, yeah.
Me and my little brother and his friends, they did most of the work. They had a trio productions. They were working with them. They had 12 DJs. There was 6 in the front and 6 in the back.
Yeah.
And I headlined in the front for the deep house side, and then my little brother headlined for the electric dance music side.
So what type would you play? I mean, we know what Aggie plays.
I really, right now, I've been building up a lot of playlists. I'm mixing between deep house and a kind of a neo-funk 80s style music. So
the classics,
there
as
might
we
be a
say.
gig in it, yeah.
The classics, as we say. Anyway, Tom, we are coming up to Dublin Pride, and particularly Bear Pride. Do tell us what's some of the highlights going to be. You're going to have the bus this year, or what's the situation?
No, we don't have a bus. No, we've very. Adrian has a friend who specialises in renovating
Vintage American cars.
and vehicles. So we have a very unique truck this year. But we will be marching along the new route, and we're very lucky to be involved with a few different venues. We have Oscar's Christchurch.
Yeah, which has always been very
We've done quite a few
very
gigs
bear
there.
friendly, as we say.
Very bear friendly.
one of my favourites, actually.
And they on Friday, we're going to be there Friday night, Saturday night. We've got the Heebie Bee Gees, who we had at Bear Fela, and also DJ Aggie's on Friday, and they've got the George Michael tribute on Saturday.
You had that earlier in the year, didn't you, at Bear Fela?
It was a different George Michael.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, George has always been fairly flexible, hasn't he?
But then we have very uniquely after the parade. You know, the parade ends in Smithfield this year.
It is. Where is it in Smithfield? Is it in that big?
It's going to be in the big plaza or whatever you call it in the centre there. So.
It's normally empty as buggery.
But they often have live bands and they show movies and everything in that.
The ice rink used to be there as well.
So we're going to. We've been invited to take over the Barbers Bar, which is just a little bit beyond Smithfield Square. People might have known it years ago as the Grange. It was in Grange Gorman.
Okay. Where's that? If
you're in Smithfield,
you walk through. Yeah.
It's kind of, the Cobblestone pub.
I do.
It's kind of just behind that and to the left.
Okay.
Or actually, you better go left and then go right. But or it's just off Stony Batter.
Or right behind the bus garage. Hop over the wall and it's a 20-foot drop.
It's a great bar. It's managed by Chris, who's a barber, and his daughter. And it's a beautiful bar, but they actually have a fully functioning barber's chair in it.
Which is quite interesting, because last year we had 2 Brazilians marching in the parade, holding the banner. And if they go to the barbers,
they get a
and somebody
Brazilian.
calls, has anybody seen the Brazilian?
Yeah, I know.
But they're actually going to be doing a deal where you can get a pint and a beer trim for £8, so that's pretty good.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
And
in fact, that's very good.
By Brazilian or
no, by that. And then also we're also going to be in Street on Friday night and Saturday night later on.
Where's that?
Street 66.
Oh, was that on
formerly
Abbey
known
Street?
as the Front Lounge.
Oh, is that what it's called these days?
Yeah.
I was in there for the launch of the Gay Theatre Festival, but it was a bit strange.
Well, I think maybe back then it was just starting off, you know.
Yeah.
But Siobhan and Chris are doing a great job on it now. They're going to give us some wristbands so you can have access,
Okay.
because it's going to be crazy busy.
Yeah.
And in there they have live bands. They've DJ Pixie, DJ Jerry Moore. I know Elstar is going to be doing something at Pride. It's going to be some big surprise. She's going to come out of the ether and let us know what that is. But basically the entire Dublin Bear Pride weekend, it's full of live entertainment, DJs, whatever. It's completely free. It's open to everyone. Cats and dogs, as far as I know, Street 66 even are very dog friendly. I don't know if they'd fit in it over
That's
Pride.
right, yeah.
But the whole thing is free, and it's kind of our way of saying thank you for a great Bear Féile and for the support during the year.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Owen? Will you be there in, as we say, speedos and a sash?
I'm wearing just my sash, yeah.
Showing
Nothing
off your
else.
fabulous
Nothing
torso.
The sash
Bit
has
of
been made
deodorant
into a kind of
maybe,
a...
something like that.
Talc.
Yeah, talc and powder, yeah.
You might have to wear queen repellent, with that, with those rippling muscles, walking along Pat's Cathedral and Christchurch, they'd be throwing themselves at you.
I haven't got my crown yet, anyway.
Yeah. And what about yourself? Are you going to be involved in any of this, Aggie, or presumably you'll be DJing at some
Yeah,
gigs?
I'm DJing on Friday in Oscars. But there'll be a lot of shut up, you. There'll be a lot of
I just mentioned it.
there'll be a lot of running around behind the scenes because I've got to get the truck prepared, and I've got to get somebody with big cheeks to blow up balloons.
Aggie's in charge.
I'm not good at that.
Aggie's in charge of our
I
float.
might get a
in the
machine to
parade,
do it.
so
Yeah.
you'll be swapping from Adrian to Aggie in the afternoon.
Okay.
That's true, yeah. You come to Oscars and you will see me as Aggie.
Will you be wearing one of your flamboyant shirts now? This is a...
No,
get the flowers
you may see the Cilla Black influence at work.
The minimalist.
Maximum.
Have they got any special events for yourself, Owen?
I will be attending most of the majority of the events anyway going on throughout the day, or throughout the weekend, sorry. And that's it really. I'll be on the Pride walk, and that's it, really.
You're not getting introduced from the stage, I think, because that should
In Smithfield?
Yeah,
We're talking to Dublin Pride about that. So
you should do, because I
would be
mean,
good,
there was some controversy about whether it should be political, and they kept that down to a minimum. So I think people like Owen, who are active participants in the community, should at the very least get an introduction.
Well, that's the thing about it is like the whole title of Mr. Bear, Ireland and Dublin Bears were completely non-commercial. We try to be as inclusive and outward looking as possible. So that's why we always say, it's Dublin Bear Pride in association with Dublin Pride, because we embrace the whole ethos and concept.
And is there any good causes that you're promoting this year, Tom, or is it just a fun weekend?
It's just a fun weekend. We may do a raffle on Friday, possibly for Dublin Pride itself, just to make a donation to them. And of course we have ongoing support with and from and for Gay Switchboard.
Yep. We're going to get cut off here, guys, but all I can say is everybody, I presume, can march with you guys?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we're getting the word from the booth, so I want to say thank you to DJ Aggie, I want to say thank you to Tom, and I want to say thank you to Mr. Bear Rowley himself, Owen. So have a great Pride.
Cheers.
World that I want to have a little pride in, my world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can say I am.